Welcome back to Stoic Wisdom TV. Have you ever paused to consider why those who utter the fewest words often command the greatest authority, even as the world roars with ceaseless noise, endless debates, the clamor of social media, and the relentless drone of daily life? In this chaotic tempest, the quiet ones rise like a steadfast lighthouse, their silence not a void but a fortress of strength. This phenomenon intrigues us because it reveals a deeper truth. Silence is not mere absence, but a vessel for clarity, wisdom, and resolute purpose. The Stoics, those ancient philosophers of resilience, understood this well. Marcus Aurelius, a Roman emperor tempered by war and duty, penned in his Meditations, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts, for those who speak sparingly. Their minds are a sacred canvas, each word a deliberate stroke, infused with meaning and gravitas." Why should this concern you? In an age where haste and clamor dominate, embracing the virtues of those who hold their tongues can forge a life of enduring strength and tranquility. These individuals do not waste breath on idle chatter. They speak only to elevate, to edify. They listen with intent, observe with precision, and comprehend what escapes the notice of others. Their silence is a disciplined power, guiding them through life's storms with unwavering focus and dignity. Imagine a gathering alive with restless voice, sown figure remains still, absorbing all, nodding sparingly. When at last they speak, the room hushes, drawn to the weight of their utterance. This is the essence of our exploration today, the 10 traits that define these quiet souls, and how you, too, can cultivate their fortitude. The path to wisdom begins with discerning when to voice your truth, and more critically, when to guard it in silence. If you are drawn to profound reflection, the pursuit of virtue, and the discipline of self-mastery, join this fellowship of thinkers. Subscribe now, and let us together seek a life of greater purpose and resilience. Let us now unveil the 10 traits of those who speak less, and why their silence resonates with a power beyond words. Consider the wisdom of Abraham Lincoln. Better to remain silent and be thought a fool than to speak. And remove all doubt. This encapsulates the first virtue of those who speak sparingly. They govern their words with deliberate thought. In a world where many hasten to fill silences or react without reflection, the quiet pause, turning inward to ensure their speech aligns with reason and virtue. This is no act of cowardice or hesitation. It is a mark of intentionality, a mastery over the self. The Stoics viewed impulsive speech as a flaw of a disordered mind. Marcus Aurelius affirmed, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. Those who speak less embody this principle, restraining their reactions so their words spring from logic, not fleeting passion. Before entering discourse, they pose 3 questions to themselves. Is this utterance necessary? Does it serve a higher purpose? Will it aid or injure? This internal sieve filters out the frivolous, leaving only what is worthy. When they speak, their words strike with purpose, commanding attention because they are forged in contemplation. This practice shields them from the regret of hasty words or the need to retract missteps. It fosters trust, for others know their speech is a bond of integrity. Picture a leader whose presence steadies a room, a mentor whose counsel endures, or a friend whose advice pierces the soul. These likely share this trait. In a realm of noise, their mindful communication is an art, urging others to pause and honor the potency of their own voice. Reflect on your own words. When last did you speak in haste? Try this discipline. Pause, assess, and speak only if it serves virtue. The strength you gain may reshape your path. Those who speak less are adepts of observation, using their silence as a tool to pierce the surface of life. While others flood the air with words, the quiet turn their gaze outward, noting the subtly tremble in an eye, a shift in tone, the silent currents of a gathering. This acute awareness grants them an edge, revealing what others overlook in their haste. The Stoics prized this clarity of sight. Epictetus taught, "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we can listen twice as much as we speak," a maxim not of jest but of wisdom. For the silent, this observation cultivates insight, their greatest ally. It breeds empathy, making them approachable, for they judge not by appearances, but by understanding. They process what they see with calm, responding with measured intent rather than rash impulse. This builds a trust that transcends words. Others feel seen, even in quietude. When they speak, their insights cut to the root, not merely the symptom. Their vigilance extends beyond human interactions to the fabric of existence patterns in nature. Shifts in a room's energy, lessons from the earth's rhythms. This aligns with Stoic calls to find virtue in the mundane. Next time you stand amid others, resist the urge to speak. Observe, listen, and let wisdom emerge from the stillness. Silent individuals embody the Stoic virtue of prioritizing depth over the ephemeral allure of superficial breadth, a disciplined choice that reflects their mastery over time and circumstance. While the multitude squanders their vitality on shallow exchange frivolous chatter that drifts like leaves on a restless wind, these steadfast souls seek dialogues that probe the recesses of the mind, uplift the spirit, and align with the pursuit of virtue. To them, a single conversation steeped in wisdom and integrity surpasses a dozen trivial encounters, mirroring the Stoic recognition of life's fleeting nature. Seneca, the Stoic philosopher, distilled this principle when he wrote, "Associate with those who will make a better man of you. Welcome those whom you yourself can improve." The silent live this maxim with unwavering resolve, forging bonds not for fleeting pleasure, but as crucibles for mutual edification, where each interaction becomes a deliberate act to refine character and cultivate resilience against life's chaos. This commitment to depth transforms them into paragons of attentive listening, not as passive recipients, but as active stewards of truth. They wield questions with precision, inquiring into the roots of a person's convictions or the trials that forge their resolve rather than asserting dominance through empty rhetoric. This practice, rooted in Stoic self-control, fosters an unshakable trust, for they honor others' inner struggles without judgment, building relationships of substance that endure beyond the transient. Their exchanges are not swayed by external approval, but guided by the inner compass of virtue, reflecting the Stoic ideal of focusing only on what is within our power. Intellectually, they embody this philosophy by immersing themselves in a single pursuit with mastery, eschewing the scattered haste of those who skim across many fields. Like a Stoic warrior honing a single skill to face life's adversities, they channel their energy into depth, achieving a clarity of understanding that eludes the undisciplined. This aligns with Marcus Aurelius's counsel to concentrate on what is essential, turning their focus into a fortress of wisdom. To walk this path yourself, embrace the Stoic discipline in your next discourse. When tempted to fill the silence with idle words, pause and pose a single, purposeful question perhaps. What virtue do you strive to embody? Or what lesson has hardship taught you? Then listen with the full weight of your attention. Observe how this act, free from the vanity of self-display, enriches your grasp of truth and strengthens your soul. This practice trains you to let go of what you cannot control, the opinions of others, and to master what you can, the quality of your engagement. In a world enslaved to superficial breadth, endless distractions, and hollow pursuits, the silence stand as exemplars of Stoic excellence, reminding us that true growth lies in depth, in the courage to confront the self and others with authenticity, and in the wisdom to invest our fleeting days in what endures beyond the storm. Self-control stands as the unyielding foundation upon which those who speak less build their lives, a virtue that elevates them above the chaotic impulses that dominate the modern world. In an age that exalts hasty reactions and unrestrained outbursts, these individuals choose the path of restraint, aligning every word with the Stoic ideal of virtue and purpose. Seneca, the wise Stoic, illuminated this truth with his piercing insight. It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it. The silent heed this warning, refusing to squander their breath on petty quarrels, idle folly, or the fleeting passions that erode the soul. Instead, they conserve their inner strength, directing it toward what endures, acts of wisdom, acts of goodness, transforming silence into a reservoir of resilience that sustains them through life's tempests. When faced with provocation, they do not succumb to the base urge to retaliate. Rather, they don armor of silence, assessing each situation with a calm that defies the storm. This is no act of weakness, but a testament to profound courage, for it requires greater fortitude to master one's anger than to unleash it upon the world. Their self-discipline extends beyond mere suppression. It encompasses the art of timing, a discernment of when words will ripen into truth and bear fruit, rather than wither in haste. This mastery nurtures an inner peace that shields them from the regret that haunts those who speak without thought, allowing them to move through life unburdened by the echoes of misspoken words. In their relationships, this control fosters an unshakable reliability, for others come to depend on their steady presence, knowing that their silence is not indifference, but a deliberate choice to honor virtue over vanity. Consider a moment of your own impulsive innocent outburst born of frustration, or a retort fueled by pride. Now envision the alternative, a pause, a breath, a silent assessment of what virtue demands. The power of that restraint would not only preserve your dignity, but also amplify your influence. For true strength, as the Stoics teach, lies not in dominating others with words, but in governing the self with unwavering resolve. Marcus Aurelius reinforced this when he wrote, "You have power over your men, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. The silent embody this principle, turning self-control into a quiet triumph over the external chaos they cannot command. Their example challenges us to reflect on our own reactions, to train ourselves in the discipline of silence, and to recognize that every withheld word is a victory over the passions that seek to rule us. In a world that celebrates the loud and the rash, their mastery over self-control stands as a beacon of Stoic excellence, inviting us to reclaim our inner sovereignty and live with the dignity of those who know when to speak and when to remain still. For those who speak sparingly, silence is not a void to be feared, but a sacred refuge, a bastion of serenity amidst the ceaseless clamor of the world. While others recoil from stillness, frantically filling every moment with noise, whether through idle chatter, the hum of music, or the endless scroll of screens, these resolute souls embrace quietude as a fertile ground for growth and self-discovery. In this sanctuary of silence, they find a space to cultivate the virtues that define a life well lived, aligning with the Stoic principle of retreating inward to uncover unshakable peace. Marcus Aurelius, a beacon of Stoic wisdom, captured this truth when he wrote, "Nowhere can man find a quieter or more untroubled retreat than in his own soul." This profound insight sets the silent apart, their tranquil presence radiating a calm that not only steadies their own spirit, but also brings ease to those around them, creating an atmosphere where authenticity can flourish. In the embrace of stillness, they confront the raw materials of their inner world, thoughts, fears, and desires without the distractions that so often cloud judgment. This act of facing the self head-on is no small feat. It demands the courage to sit with discomfort, to sift through the tumult of the mind, and to emerge with clarity and wisdom. Here, in the quiet, they refine their understanding of what is truly within their control, a cornerstone of Stoic philosophy, and let go of the external noise that seeks to pull them from their path. This introspective practice fuels their growth, transforming silence into a forge where the soul is tempered, its impurities burned away by the steady flame of reflection. Moreover, this comfort with silence sharpens their capacity to listen, for without the urge to fill the void with their own voice, they can fully absorb the words and emotions of others, deepening their empathy and insight. The Stoic discipline of embracing silence extends beyond personal growth. It becomes a quiet act of defiance against a world addicted to noise. In social settings, their refusal to speak for the sake of speaking creates a ripple effect, encouraging others to lower their voices and seek the same clarity. Imagine the next time silence descends upon you, perhaps in a moment of pause during a conversation rather than rushing to fill it. Welcome it as a guest. Let it linger and notice how it sharpens your awareness, how it allows clarity to rise like a clear dawn after a stormy night. This practice, rooted in Stoic teachings, reminds us that silence is not emptiness, but a canvas for wisdom, a space where the mind can breathe and the soul can find its footing. The silent teach us that in stillness lies strength, in quietude lies renewal, and in the absence of noise lies the presence of truth, a lesson that beckons us to seek refuge within ourselves and discover the peace that endures beyond the world's clamor. In an era dominated by self-absorption, where voices clamor to be heard over one another, those who speak sparingly distinguish themselves through the Stoic art of attentive listening, a skill as rare as it is transformative. These silent individuals do not merely hear. They engage with a depth that captures the subtle nuances of speech and the unspoken silences that linger between words. They embody the wisdom of Epictetus, who taught, "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we can listen twice as much as we speak," a principle they live not as a mere aphorism, but as a sacred discipline. Their intent is not to reply hastily or to assert their own presence, but to truly understand, to honor the speaker by receiving their words with the full weight of their attention. This practice, rooted in Stoic virtue, reflects a profound respect for others, acknowledging their worth not through hollow affirmations, but through the quiet act of being fully present. This attentive listening fosters a connection that transcends the superficial, drawing others near as if by a gentle, invisible thread. When the silent listen, they do so with a focus that makes the speaker feel seen, their thoughts and emotions validated in a world too often marked by distraction. This creates a bond of trust, for people instinctively gravitate toward those who offer the rare gift of genuine understanding. In professional realms, this trait sharpens their judgment, allowing them to discern underlying concerns and subtle dynamics that others, caught in the rush to respond, overlook. A leader who listens with such care can make decisions that resonate with clarity and fairness, while a colleague who truly hears can diffuse tensions and foster collaboration. The silent, through their listening, become pillars of reliability, their presence a steadying force in the storm of human interaction. The Stoic foundation of this practice lies in its alignment with self-mastery. By restraining the impulse to speak, they exercise control over their desires for recognition, focusing instead on what they can govern, their attention and understanding. This discipline not only enriches their relationships, but also deepens their own wisdom. For in listening, they gather insights that inform their actions and refine their character. To cultivate this virtue in your own life, commit to a simple yet profound act in your next conversation. Set aside the urge to interject or formulate a response while the other speaks. Instead, listen with the entirety of your being, note the tone, the pauses, the emotions beneath the words, and observe how this shift transforms the exchange. You may find that in truly hearing another, you uncover truths you would have otherwise missed. And in doing so, you build a bridge of understanding that endures. The silent teach us that listening is not a passive act, but an active pursuit of virtue, a testament to the Stoic belief that true wisdom begins not with what we say, but with how deeply we are willing to hear. Rigorous discipline serves as the unshakable anchor that steadies the silence of those who speak sparingly, infusing their lives with a purpose that aligns with the Stoic pursuit of virtue. The steadfast commitment to self-governance is not a mere habit, but a guiding principle, echoing the timeless wisdom of Marcus Aurelius, who declared, "You have power over your men, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. These individuals internalize this call, mastering their thoughts and actions with a discipline that transforms silence into a fortress of resolve. They turn away from the distractions that plague the undisciplined idle chatter, fleeting temptations, and the seductive pull of external chouscusing, instead to direct their energy toward what endures, the cultivation of inner fortitude and the pursuit of a life governed by reason. This unwavering focus earns them the trust of others, who recognize in their quiet consistency a reliability that withstands the trials of an unpredictable world. Their steadiness shines most brightly in moments of adversity, where the undisciplined falter and the impulsive crumble. When faced with provocation or uncertainty, they do not waver. Their disciplined silence becomes a shield, allowing them to assess each challenge with clarity and respond with measured intent, rather than reckless emotion. This resilience is not a gift bestowed, but a skill forged through daily practice, a testament to their commitment to Stoic self-mastery. They structure their lives with intentionality, rejecting the siren call of meaningless diversions to focus on actions and habits that align with their highest value, whether it be the pursuit of knowledge, the strengthening of character, or the quiet service to others. This disciplined approach grants them a clarity of mind that cuts through the fog of confusion, enabling them to navigate life's storms with a composure that inspires those around them. The Stoic philosophy underpins this trait, teaching that true power lies in controlling what is within our grasp, our thoughts, our words, our deeds, rather than being enslaved by external circumstances. Their discipline is a quiet rebellion against a world that glorifies haste and excess, a rebellion that builds a reputation for trustworthiness and wisdom. To embody this virtue yourself, consider setting a single disciplined goal, perhaps to rise each morning with purpose, to dedicate an hour to reflection, or to refrain from idle speech for a day, and observe how this act of self-command strengthens your resolve. The silent demonstrate that discipline is not a burden, but a liberation, a cornerstone of a life lived with dignity and purpose. In their example, we find a call to reject the chaos of distraction, to embrace the rigor of self-rule, and to let our actions, rather than our words, proclaim our virtue, a lesson that beckons us to rise above the tumult and stand firm in the face of life's inevitable challenges. Those who speak sparingly wield their words with a purposeful precision that mirrors the Stoic reverence for action over idle chatter, transforming each utterance into a deliberate act of virtue. Their speech is not a careless spill, but a measured offering, reflecting the wisdom of Marcus Aurelius, who exhorted, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be." Be 1. These individuals embody this command, choosing to speak only when their words can leave a lasting impact, aligning their voice with the principles of reason and integrity. This disciplined restraint elevates their presence, for they do not dilute their authority with frivolous discourse or succumb to the urge to fill silences with empty noise. Instead, their silence becomes a canvas, and their rare words are strokes of meaning, crafted to inspire, guide, or resolve, each one a testament to their mastery over the self. This commitment to essential speech builds an aura of credibility that resonates deeply with those around them. Others recognize that when these quiet souls choose to break their silence, their words carry the weight of thought and purpose, untainted by the vanity of self-promotion or the clutter of unnecessary debate. In a world addicted to constant communication, where gossip, idle banter, and hasty opinions flood the air, their selective speech stands as a beacon of trustworthiness. People listen intently, knowing that each phrase is a deliberate act, a reflection of a mind governed by Stoic virtue rather than swayed by fleeting emotions. This credibility extends beyond personal interactions into professional arenas, where their concise, impactful contributions often steer discussions toward clarity and resolution, earning them respect as voices of substance rather than volume. The Stoic foundation of this trait lies in the understanding that words, like actions, are within our control, and thus must be wielded with the same care as a craftsman shapes his tool. By refraining from idle talk, they conserve their energy for moments that matter, embodying the principle that true influence arises not from the frequency of speech, but from its quality. To cultivate this virtue in your own life, embark on a practice of restraint in your next gathering. Resolve to withhold words unless they serve a higher purpose, perhaps to offer wisdom, to resolve a conflict, or to affirm a truth. Observe how this shift enhances your presence, how it draws others to value your voice when it finally emerges. The silent teach us that speech is a privilege, not a necessity, and that by reserving it for what is essential, we align ourselves with the Stoic ideal of living authentically, a lesson that invites us to rise above the noise and let our words, when spoken, echo with the power of our inner resolve. Those who speak sparingly embody a profound independence that draws its strength from an inner wellspring of virtue, a quality that sets them apart as steadfast guardians of their own souls. Amid the pressures of conformity, rooted in Stoic detachment, they refuse to bend to the whims of the crowd or seek validation from the shifting tides of external opinion, instead anchoring themselves in the quiet certainty of their own principles. This self-reliance is not born of arrogance, but of a disciplined acceptance of what lies within their control, their thoughts, their character, their actions, while releasing the futile grasp on what they cannot govern. Their independence shines as a beacon, reflecting the Stoic teaching to detach from the external and find freedom in the mastery of the self. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, urged us to look within, and these individuals heed this call, cultivating a resilience that inspires others to question the chains of societal expectation and seek their own inner fortitude. This profound independence manifests in their ability to stand alone, content in their own company, where solitude becomes a forge for growth rather than a prison of isolation. They use these quiet moments to reflect, to strengthen their resolve, and to nurture the virtues that define their existence: wisdom, justice, courage, and temperance. Unlike those who clamor for approval through constant speech or public display, the silent draw their confidence from within. Immune to the flattery or criticism that sways the undisciplined, the self-sufficiency empowers them to approach life's challenges with a clarity unclouded by the need to please, making them natural leaders who guide not by force, but by the quiet example of their actions. Their independence fosters a humility that disarms those around them, for they do not boast of their autonomy but live it, their deeds speaking louder than any proclamation. The Stoic philosophy underpins this trait, teaching that true liberty rises from detachment from what is beyond our power, the opinions of others, the fleeting praise of the masses, and a steadfast commitment to what we can cultivate within. To weave this virtue into your own life, embrace the practice of solitude. Set aside time to withdraw from the noise, to sit in silence, and to confront your own mind with the same rigor you would a worthy adversary. Observe how this solitude fortifies your soul, how it steels your resolve against the pull of conformity, and how it aligns you with the Stoic ideal of living according to nature's rational order. The silent demonstrate that independence is not a solitary confinement, but a liberation, a strength that invites others to find their own path to self-mastery. In their example, we are called to reject the tyranny of external validation and to build a life of inner riqueza, testament to the Stoic belief that the greatest victory is the one won within the quiet depths of our own being. Those who speak sparingly cultivate a profound introspection that serves as the cornerstone of their growth, a practice deeply rooted in the Stoic tradition of rigorous self-scrutiny. Through this deliberate reflection, they engage in a continuous dialogue with their inner selves, examining their thoughts, emotions, and actions with the precision of a philosopher seeking truth. This introspective discipline aligns with the Stoic habit of daily examination, as exemplified by Marcus Aurelius, who would reflect each evening on whether his actions honored his principles. For the silent, these moments of stillness are not mere pauses but fertile ground for transformation, where they confront their fears, acknowledge their shortcomings, and refine their virtues. This self-awareness becomes a wellspring of wisdom, enabling them to navigate life's complexities with a clarity that eludes the unreflective, and fostering a resilience that withstands the chaos of external circumstances. This deep introspection also enhances their empathy, for by understanding their own struggles and triumphs, they develop a profound capacity to relate to the experiences of others. They see beyond surface appearances, recognizing the shared humanity that binds us all, and this insight allows them to offer compassion and understanding in their interactions. Their empathy is not a passive sentiment, but an active virtue, informed by the Stoic belief that we are all part of a rational, interconnected whole, bound to support one another in the pursuit of the good. To cultivate this practice in your own life, dedicate time each day to reflection, perhaps at dawn or dusk. When the world is quiet, ask yourself, have I lived according to reason today? Have I acted with justice, courage, and temperance? This habit of self-examination will sharpen your self-awareness, deepen your empathy, and guide you toward a life of greater virtue. These 10 traits culminating in the practice of introspection show that silence is not a weakness, but a profound strength, a gateway to the Stoic path of living virtuously. Each trait, from deliberate speech to rigorous discipline, offers a lesson in self-mastery, demonstrating that true power lies not in the volume of our words, but in the quality of our character. Begin your journey by embracing one of these practices. Pause before you speak, listen with full attention, or reflect on your actions at day's end. As you advance, you will find yourself growing closer to the Stoic ideal of a life governed by reason and virtue, unshaken by the storms of fortune. If these insights resonate with you, subscribe to join a community dedicated to uncovering more Stoic wisdom, and share this truth with those who seek a path to inner strength. Let us continue this pursuit together, exploring the timeless lessons that fortify our souls against life's trials. Until our next encounter, may you find clarity in silence, strength in reflection, and peace in the practice of virtue. Farewell, and let us meet again in the shared journey toward wisdom. From a Stoic perspective, the content unveils profound lessons rooted in the philosophy of self-mastery and virtue. The 10 traits of those who speak lessic as deliberate speech, keen observation, and deep introspection teach us to prioritize what we can control, our thoughts, words, and actions. Marcus Aurelius's wisdom, "You have power over your men, not outside events," reminds us to focus inward, cultivating resilience against external chaos. By embracing silence, we reject the noise of idle chatter and societal pressures, aligning with Stoic detachment to find inner peace. This practice fosters clarity, enabling us to act with reason, not passion, and to build relationships of depth and trust. Ultimately, the Stoic lesson here is to live intentionally, mastering ourselves to live virtuously, unswayed by fortune's whims, and to let our actions, not words, reflect our commitment to a life of wisdom and purpose. If this message resonates with you, please like, share, and subscribe for more content that will help you create the life you truly deserve.